Schlomoch, who's director of the Center for Economic Prosperity from the Goldwater Institute. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm not a healthcare professional. My father's a retired general practitioner, but I'm an economist, just an old economist. And one of the things economists have a nasty habit of doing, one reason that it's called a dismal science, is that we remind people that there are costs to everything and not just benefits. We remind people that there are and I will tell you now that the system of healthcare we have today is just one giant unintended consequence. Yes, we have a healthcare affordability crisis today. I am not here to defend the current healthcare system. We have a crisis of hospitals and doctors playing games with insurance and government bureaucrats, and those of us who don't have insurance get stuck in the middle. Now, I do have insurance, but it's a high deductible HSA type plan, and I've lived without insurance. And let me tell you, my wife broke her foot not that long ago, and we ended up paying directly a doctor's over $600 for this plastic boot that sometime later, and by the way, that just proves my terrible ignorance, I found out I could buy for $75 on the internet. And let me tell you why that's the case. I don't blame that doctor. I blame the system that she had to play in.
That's right.
In 1960, almost half of health care was paid for by the patient. Today, less than an eighth is paid for by the patient. As that share paid for by government and insurance has increased, in almost lockstep, the cost of medical care has increased right along with it. So that today, in 1960, healthcare cost about the same as it did in 1935. Today, it's more than 2 times higher than the general price level. It's doubled in comparison to general prices since 1960. That means that 16% of GDP that we're paying for healthcare today, if we controlled back to 1960 prices, we'd be paying just a little over 7% of our GDP. That means that 8% of our GDP is wasted on paperwork and bureaucracy. The doctor-patient relationship because of the way healthcare is paid for by government and insurance, and that's because of a tax code that encourages benefits instead of cash. The costs won't go away if we come along with a government insurance plan or we ultimately have a single-payer system. It might go away in dollar terms, but it'll stick with us in other ways. And it would be loss of access. We would be standing in line just like the Russians did in the old Soviet Union when they stood in line. Catch-22 today. Healthcare prices. And I was completely quiet when others with a different point of view talked. We're in a catch-22 where healthcare is expensive because we don't pay for it, but we don't want to pay for it because it's expensive. But it's because of the current system. Now, there's a small, admittedly small city-state called Singapore that found itself in the exact same situation. Today they pay 3% for their GDP, and by any standard they are more healthy than us and any number of other countries. Why? It's because people pay for it themselves for the most part. Health safety net, and I am not against a minimal health safety net, but ultimately people are responsible for their choices. And my dad, I was with him this last weekend. He said the whole time he practiced for over 30 years, there were exactly 2 people that he told to lose weight who actually did it. The point is, unless we want the government health police in our houses decide
That's right.
we're going to live our lives, we had better learn to, just like the founding fathers, value liberty a lot more than security. Thank you.